Ad paid for by Marjan Philhour for Supervisor 2020. Financial disclosures are available at sfethics.org.
Thanks, everybody, for having me. It's a pleasure. I, for me, the topic of housing is personal, and it should be personal for everyone here because we all have a roof over our head, and everyone needs a roof over our head. It's one of the basic things you need to make it in this world. And for me, the reason it's personal, there's a number of reasons, but the one that really stands out to me is that I have younger brothers, and like many of you who have relatives, siblings. And they are like me trying to make it in this world, and they believed in the American dream. They believed in the promise that says if you work hard, if you get an education, if you go to school, if you get a job, you can make it here in this world. And what we've found, kind of just through our own lived experience, is that for too many young people, for too many people who are just starting to get on their feet, or for too many people who have been working hard their whole lives, but had one bad happenstance situation crop up. They have found that it's just too expensive to get by in the city, and that the city isn't doing enough in terms of making sure that housing is being built. And so for me, this comes back to my youngest brother, actually, and how I'm thinking about what is he going to do when he graduates? What is he going to do when he is trying to make it in this world? And for me, I think about all the young people who are just now trying to get their lives started and make it through. So it was my pleasure to answer the call when Marjan tapped me on the shoulder and said, would you want to lead this co-chair group? And we had a lot of good conversations. We had a lot of fun kind of, working the survey together and then getting it out and pushing it to people and trying to get folks to fill it out and really trying to advance the conversation. We talk a lot about homelessness in the district, but, interconnected with homelessness is housing, because it's the act of not having a home. And so some of the findings here that I'll read through real quick are shouldn't be too surprising, because these are kind of consensus items that we've are not surprised by as we listen to more neighbors talk through all of these things. So a lot of the respondents, basically all of the respondents with a few exceptions, definitely support building more housing in the Richmond district. We know that we haven't done our fair share relative to the rest of the city. We know that we need to build more housing in the Richmond. We know that it's taken far too long, and it takes far too long to build housing. And we know that this crisis has been long standing, and it will get worse if we don't begin to pick up the pace of building more housing. We know that in the precious, scarce, affordable housing dollars that the district has, or that the city has, I should say, folks insisted and really put down a interest in investing in senior housing, so housing set aside for senior citizens, folks who are experiencing displacement from disasters. So when we have a fire, for example, in the district, I live out here at La Playa, and across the street there was a fire and a couple folks were displaced. We need housing for those people to go while their other home is getting rebuilt. Essential workers, teachers, teacher housing has been a topic forever in the city and in the district, and we just haven't moved fast enough. That conversation has been going on for 20 years plus. And housing for families, which shouldn't come as a surprise. A lot of folks, when they start to have their first or second kid, they look on Zillow, they look on Craigslist, they see nothing that is within their price range, that is the number of bedrooms and bathrooms that they need. There's also interest in public housing as well, and really revisiting that conversation. And it's a good conversation to have, although we got to also think through the funding and how we make sure that happens. Another thing that's important to really think about as we kind of talk about housing in the district and things that residents really express strongly, not only in this survey, but in other surveys, is a real lack of understanding about where our current resources go, how they're spent, and what's going on with respect to results. People really want to see the results. And so responses that we got really suggested a lack of understanding around those things, and a deep desire for the next supervisor to prioritize making sure that we have clear metrics around what success looks like. And you can see some of those here listed: surveying the age and quality of the housing stock that we have, measuring the number of families leaving every year and how to reverse that, measuring the income diversity of the neighborhood, and tracking occupancy of long-term supportive housing, and making sure that we're increasing occupancy as opposed to letting things stay vacant. Those are some of the findings. There's more opportunities to voice your opinion on that, and all sorts of other things around housing. We know it's a really tough challenge. It's one of people's top priorities, and I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation. Thank you, Marjan.